Alright, this is Andrew with Joda Home Inspections. We are doing a sewer scope today here in Sandy. We're at 10762 South Savannah Drive, and we have the camera pushed out 111 feet to the city connection, and now we're going to pull it back and record it and see what we find. So that's the city line that you're seeing on the screen now. There's some water draining, and so it's going to clear up in just a minute. As soon as it's not pounding on my camera head. I run water to help push the camera out. I got almost out on this one, and then I had to run water to push it the last 10 feet or so. But running water is fine to see. What you don't want to see is any standing water, which would indicate that it doesn't have proper grade. So far it's looking like clay pipe. From what I can tell so far, pretty common for the age. "87 feet out, starting to go under a little bit of water, so that could be a flat spot. You'll notice everywhere else there's still draining water, but it's flowing, and it's not covering my camera head. Seems like it starts to dip right there and go underwater. Not for very long. Well, there it goes underwater again, 85 feet out. So it seems like you have a little bit of a flat spot, which would make sense. When I was pushing the camera out, I was pushing through a little bit of sludge. And so a lot of times when you have even a little belly like these ones, grease can build up, and then when I push my camera through it, it kind of blocks it. A little buildup is normal regardless, and I would call that, you know, a little belly, but it's definitely on the more minor side. Here's an example of an offset where the pipes have slipped, and as a result, it's got a little lip where waste could get stuck. It's also creating that spot where it's holding water, so another spot where grease could settle and get sticky and allow bigger pieces of waste to get stuck. Again, I would also consider that one to be on the more minor to moderate side. Wasn't huge. Still going through clay, and now we're transitioning to cast iron. I mean, great example of why you don't want to use wet wipes. There's one stuck on the side right there. Not even on a lip, just on the rough edge. So never use wet wipes. I'd recommend having this cast iron cleaned and then evaluated further. Eventually cast iron will need to be replaced, and it's under the house, and so that means opening up the slab and to get to it. I see a lot of houses that are still using cast from the 1920s, and so it definitely can last longer. I've seen houses of this age that have had to replace it, but there's a good chance it could be cleaned and give you a lot of life. But first thing would be to clean it and then look at it again. Sometimes you clean it and you'll find out it's real thin. Little standing water right before it comes up the roof stack. Now we're coming up the stack, and so nothing to see here. This is just a vertical line that goes up through the roof. Very good. So just to recap, you have clay through the yard, cast iron under the house. Clay looked pretty average, a couple small offsets, a couple spots that had a little bit of standing water, but not crazy. Under the house you have cast iron, which looks average for the age, but I mean that still means it's rusty and kind of rough, and so I'd recommend having that cleaned. I'd also recommend the insurance on the line. That way if you get roots or a bigger issue in the future, they can help offset that cost. That doesn't cover what's under the house. And in the meantime, I'd recommend having that cast iron cleaned. You could get it coated. That's where they clean it with a chain. That cuts off all that rust and makes it a lot smoother. That sometimes does a better job than just hydrojetting it. I'm going to end this recording now.